Question number 1. What's the total runtime of Godzilla vs. Kong? A. 200 minutes, B. 100 minutes, C. 125 minutes, D. 113 minutes. The answer is D. 113 minutes. Question 2. By which nickname was the giant red and green skull crawler from the Apex headquarters in Hong Kong known as? A. Number 12, B. Number 20, C. Number 10, or D. Number 15? Answer C. Number 10. Question 3. What was the conspiracy podcast hosted by former Apex Cybernetics technician Bernie Hayes called? A. The Conspiracy Podcast, B. Titan Truth Podcast, C. The Titan Conspiracy Podcast, or D. Titan Reveal Podcast? The answer is B. Titan Truth Podcast. Question 4. Which of these denotes the actual budget of Godzilla vs. Kong? A. $155 to $200 million, B. $225 to $250 million, C. $125 to $155 million, or D. $250 to $300 million? The answer is A. $155 to $200 million. Question 5. In which year is the film Godzilla vs. Kong set in? A. 2020, B. 2021, C. 2022, or D. 2024? The answer is D. 2024. Question 6. How many monsters are in Godzilla vs. Kong? A. 6, B. 8, C. 10, or D. 12? It's C. 10. Question 7. The Hellhawks were inspired by a certain winged kaiju from the past. Which kaiju are we talking about? A. Pteranodon, B. Gaios, C. Obelisk Island Bird, or D. Rodan? The answer is A. Pteranodon. Question 8. The winged serpent-like Titan Warbat was given a different name during the monster's conceptual phases. What was that name? A. Orochi, B. Buraki, C. Manda, or D. Nozuki? The answer is D. Nozuki. Question 9. Monarch built a large dome-like structure with an artificial recreation of Skull Island's original environment to contain Kong. What was the number of this Monarch outpost for Kong? A. Outpost number 325, B. Outpost number 235, C. Outpost number 236, or D. Outpost number 336? The answer is C. Outpost number 236. Question 10. Which Apex facility did Godzilla destroy right at the outset of the film? A. Hong Kong, B. Pensacola, Florida, C. San Francisco, or D. Miami? The answer is Pensacola, Florida. Question 11. Who said these words? I know G is only a child, but she's the only one he'll communicate with, and we need Kong to find that power source. The world needs him. A. Dr. Nathan Lind. B. Madison Russell. C. Dr. Eileen Andrews. Or D. Ren SERIZAWA. The answer is A. Dr. Nathan Lind. Question 12. Who said these words? "And now my mecha. It's not only Godzilla's equal, but his superior. The apex titan of my own hand. It's time to show the world what you can do." A. Ren SERIZAWA. B. Maya Simmons. C. Walter Simmons. Or D. Alan Jonah. The answer is Walter Simmons. Question 13. Who composed the music in Godzilla vs. Kong? A. Bear McCreary. B. Thomas Holkenberg, also known as Junkie XL. C. Hans Zimmer. Or D. John Williams. The answer is B. Thomas Holkenberg, also known as Junkie XL. Question 14. What entrance was used to enter into the Hollow Earth in Godzilla vs. Kong? A. Skull Island. B. Atlantis. C. Antarctica. D. Bermuda Triangle. The answer is C. Antarctica. Question 15. How many alphas remained in the end? A. 1, B. 2, C. 0, or D. 3. The answer is B. 2. Question 16. Gia belonged to which native tribe? A. Awa. B. Iwi. C. Kawahiva. Or D. Iorio. The answer is B. Iwi. Question 17. How tall was Kong in Godzilla vs. Kong? A. 335 feet. B. 215 feet. C. 310 feet. Or D. 394 feet. The answer is A. 335 feet. Question 18. What happened to the rest of the Iwi tribe from Skull Island? A. They still continue living on Skull Island. B. The Iwis moved to the Hollow Earth. C. They were wiped out to extinction by the perennial storm surrounding Skull Island. D. They moved to another island. The answer is C. They were wiped out to extinction by the perennial storm surrounding Skull Island. Question 19. Which among the monsters had the most screen time? A. Godzilla. B. Kong. C. Mechagodzilla. Or D. None of the above. The answer is B. Kong at 26 minutes 51 seconds. Question 20. The destructive Mechagodzilla was ultimately controlled by whose consciousness? A. Ren SERIZAWA. B. Walter Simmons. C. It was independent. Or D. Ghidorah. The answer is D. Ghidorah. Question 21. Which among the monsters had the least screen time? A. Titanus Dug, Hollow Earth Lizard. B. Leafwings. C. Hollow Earth Arachnids. Or D. Skullcrawlers. The answer is A. Titanus Dug. Question 22. Other than Kong himself, which was the first monster seen in Hollow Earth? A. Hollow Earth arachnids. B. Hellhawks. C. Titanus Dug, the Hollow Earth lizard. Or D. Leafwings. The answer is D. Leafwings. Question 23. Which major titan was responsible for killing the gorgeous Maya Simmons and a few of her Apex employees? A. Warbats. B. Skullcrawlers. C. Mecha Godzilla. Or D. Kong. Answer D. Kong. Question 24. What's the full form of HEAVE? A. Hollow Earth Aerial Vehicle. B. High Efficiency Aerial Vehicle. C. Hollow Earth Autonomous Vehicle. Or D. Heavy Electronics Amplitude Variable. The answer is A. Hollow Earth Aerial Vehicle. Question 25. How many winged monsters were featured in Godzilla vs. Kong? A. 3. B. 1. C. 2. D. None. The answer is A. 3. It was Hellhawk, Warbat, and Leafwings. Okay, that was the last one. I hope that most of you got all of them right. If you got all 25 questions right, you're the ultimate Godzilla fan. If you got 20 right, you're still an A grader. 15 right? Well, I'll say you're average. And if you got below 10, sorry mate, you've got a lot of work to do on your fandom. Do let us know your scores down in the comments below. Hope it was a fun experience for all of you out there. Thanks for watching. This is Factholic, and it's been a pleasure having you all. See you in the next video. Peace.